Hi, and welcome to The Juggle is Real. I'm Andryanna, and today we're diving into a conversation that I just know that so many of you are going to resonate with. We're talking style, confidence, and how we show up for ourselves in midlife. I believe personally that what we wear is never just about the clothes, it's truly for me about how I'm feeling. What I'm projecting, my energy, and just how it's supporting us as we move through our days, whether it's going to hockey practice or leading a meeting or actually taking the group chat out and having a night with friends. And my guest today is the perfect person to speak to about this. Her name is Renée Lindo. She is an image strategist, a speaker, and the creator of the Style S.T.O.R.Y framework. And STORY is an acronym. Renée believes that style is the secret sauce to confidence, presence, and opportunity. After a thriving career as a national sales director in the pharmaceutical industry, she traded boardrooms for closets and found her mission, which is helping women in midlife show up powerfully, feel incredible in their skin, and love the woman they see in the mirror. She now works with high achieving women who are navigating busy careers, motherhood, and the shifts of midlife, teaching them how to use style not just as clothing, but as communication, as self care, and as a way to reclaim their energy. I cannot wait for you to hear her perspective. We are diving into all of this. It's practical, it's inspiring, and it is just the reminder that we all need in this season of life. So let's dive right in.
This is the Juggle is Real podcast. I hope you feel seen, that you realize your worth, lighten your load, and prioritize your own needs. As we hear from leading experts and well-known faces in the wellness, entrepreneurship, education, and motherhood space, I hope you gain insights, proven practices, and learn actionable tools to help you enjoy the juggle of work, family, and everything in between with a little less stress and a lot more ease, joy, and fun. Most of all, I hope you find what you need to simplify, streamline, and supercharge your own journey of better balance and self-love. Are you with me? Let's get started.
This episode of The Juggle is Real is supported by Whirlpool. You know how back to school season feels like everything is kicking into overdrive. We've got lunches, practices, homework, work. Honestly, the kitchen becomes command central. And one thing that will make life smoother in our house is having tools that actually keep up. For example, the new 36-inch Whirlpool French door fridge has an amazing family size capacity. With flexible organization, it keeps up with all of our needs, like having a grab and go snack zone for the kids and room for lunches that I like to prep the night before. This is a game changer for mornings. And for cooking and cleanup, Whirlpool's new 30-inch range has a wipe clean coating, which makes cleanup a breeze, as well as a no preheat air fryer feature for making weeknight dinners on the fly. So if something inevitably bubbles over, or someone spills little hands while helping, it wipes off with just water. No scrubbing, no harsh chemicals, no stress. It's amazing. The truth is that for me, when the kitchen works, our entire family routine flows better. It's those little wins like a fridge that fits all the things and a cooktop that makes cleaning up easier that give you back time and energy when you really need it most. So as we dive into fall, remember, smoother routines don't have to be complicated. It's just about having the right support where it matters most. You can visit whirlpool.ca to learn more about these and all Whirlpool appliances that are designed to make family life more functional. That's whirlpool.ca. Now let's get back to the episode. Renée, welcome to The Juggle is Real. I am so excited to have this conversation. Thank you so much for being here with us.
Well, thank you so much for inviting me, Andryanna. I'm excited to talk about this topic, a topic I am passionate about. So, love conversations around this.
We met recently at an event, And very quickly in our conversation, I shared, how I'm somewhat struggling with, how my body is changing now that I'm in my 40s, and how I'm dressing, and I want to be comfortable, but I also want to look polished. And you're like, yes, 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 this is exactly what I deal with every day.
Yes,
And this is how I'm supporting
yes,
women, which is so
yes,
beautiful. And
yes,
before we get into all of the beautiful ways that you're supporting women in their style and their confidence, I want to know a little bit more about your story, because you did have a big career in
yes,
pharmaceuticals, right? And then you
yes,
moved into personal styling. So tell us,
yes, yes.
what brought on this pivot? How did style become not just your passion, but also your mission?
Yes. So yes, I did have a big career in pharma. So as a national sales director in the pharmaceutical industry. Led a team of reps across Canada. Started off in the US and then moved to Canada. So launched products, was in charge of the marketing, the coaching, the training, all the things for this new product we were launching into the market. And I just knew that when I showed up well for myself, when I was dressed well, it just gave me the confidence to be at these boardroom tables with all men and speak up and put my hand up for more and ask difficult questions and to be included in conversations. And I said, if I could really help other women to tap into the power of their style, that's really something that I think is so important and really want to be able to do, because I've always loved fashion and style. Even from a little girl, even in university, the girls used to come to my room and I'd help them to get dressed. So, it's a way for me to really merge my love for fashion and style with my corporate background. And I just said, this is really something that is undervalued and overlooked frequently. And so if I can really help people to really tap into this superpower, as I call it, I think it will really be helpful. So here I am.
Which is so incredible. And like, just in the smallest ways, I'm working from home on most days, but I'm also doing things out in the open. And when I'm at home, it's so tempting to just put on cozy clothes and, put your head down and get to work. But I noticed that when I put just a tiny bit of effort in, maybe I put on a tiny bit of makeup, I put on something in a nice color that makes me feel good, I feel more productive. I feel like I can take on things that maybe I would have procrastinated, or maybe I wouldn't have had the motivation to do. And you say that style is so much more than in just our clothes. And it
Yes.
really is a communication tool, and it's supporting us
Yes.
with our confidence. And like you're
Yes.
saying, in the pharmaceutical industry, it is very male led,
Yes.
and some of us feel maybe that we have something to say, but we're too afraid to speak up. So can you share how what we are wearing can influence not just how others see us, but how we feel about ourselves on a day-to-day basis?
Absolutely. So I see our style as a communication tool, right? And two-way communication. For sure, we know it's what we project to the world, is how the world meets us, how we meet the world. It's the message we send. And when I talk about communication, it's the first thing that people see. So before you
Mm-hmm.
can dazzle them with your wits and your brilliance, and whether you're an Excel ninja or you are, great at whatever it is that you do, we see you. And so
Mm-hmm.
people make snap decisions about us. And what the data tells us is that there are really four big things that people are making those assessments of in seconds. Are you likable? Are you competent? Are you confident? And are you trustworthy? And those are four pretty
Wow.
important things that people
Say that
are.
again. Are you
Are you
likable?
likable? Are you trustworthy? Are you competent? And are you confident? Right?
Wow.
And this is data bears this out. And so if they're, as I said, those are really important before you have even spoken, before you even open your mouth. And so if you can control the narrative, which is how I look at style, control the narrative, give people the language that you want, the story that you want them to have about you, then why not own that? And so that's the communication. And then we also know that 50% of our, or more than 50% of our communication is nonverbal, right? So
Mm-hmm.
that includes how we show up. So it's not, communication is not just how we speak, it's body language, is a bunch, it's lots of other things. and how we show up is a part of our communication. So, that's one piece, what we're projecting to our audience and to the world and people, but also we're communicating to ourselves. I'm worth it. I'm important
Yes.
enough. It's a type of self-care that, it makes a difference to me, how I feel, and changes my energy. So it is such an important tool that I am passionate about helping women, especially. I work with men too, but women especially, to really not take it for granted and to really, use their style as a important piece of their everyday.
I love that you're bringing in this research because it's one thing to just feel better about yourself when you put on something that
Yeah,
makes you feel great. But it's another thing to realize that, yes, you know what, we all are to some degree judging a book by its cover, right? In our
exactly,
day-to-day lives, and what we
exactly.
are wearing and how we are showing up and the energy that we give off is what's going to, really
We,
resonate
we
or
definitely
not
are.
with other people.
Definitely. Well, sometimes I'll get pushback, or you'll hear people say, "Oh, style is frivolous. It's superficial. It's not important. It's really what's important is who I am and the person I am." And I get that, right? Sure, who you are is important, but before we get to that space, we see you, right? We're visual. It's just a part of human nature. If you think about it, if you're watching a movie or if you're reading a book, you can tell so much about the character just by what they're wearing. You can tell, are they professional? Are they more laid back? Are they outgoing? Are they outdoorsy person? You can tell so much about their characters before you even meet them, just by how they're dressed. The same thing happens with us in our everyday.
So I think that this is coming at such a perfect time. We're into the fall season and back to school and back to the routine and all of these things. And for a lot of the listeners, and I'm speaking for myself here, I feel that perhaps style and our image. And it was something that we could spend a little bit more time on, perhaps in our 20s, in our 30s, maybe prior to having children or, taking on more responsibility in our careers. And for a lot of the listeners, we are now in this stage of life where we are a little bit past that, right? So we may have children, we may
Mhm,
be, in a bigger role, we may have not as much quote unquote time
mhm,
to
mhm.
spend on shopping or looking at what the trends are, keeping up with what's in style, what's out of style.
Yeah,
Are skinny leg jeans in? Are they out? Is it high waisted? Is it hips? Is it
yeah,
what's going on? And
yeah.
for many women, 30s, 40s, 50s, and on, our
Mhm.
bodies are changing, our lifestyles are different, our priorities have changed. So
Sure.
what do you see as the biggest style change for women as we are sort of navigating this mid stage of life, and how can we move through it with grace? We still
Sure.
want to project what you're saying
Yeah.
and be likable and competent and confident
Yeah.
and all trustworthy. However, we've got a lot on the go. So,
Yeah.
what would you say is
Absolutely.
the biggest challenge that we're facing?
Sure. And even before I answer that, I have to address this. So when we talk about time, we're all time strapped. Everybody is time strapped at the
Mm-hmm.
different seasons of our life. But I have to tell you, it takes the same amount of time to put on frumpy, uninspiring clothes as it does to put on clothes that you feel fantastic in, right? Same
You
amount of
got
time.
me.
I've
You got
tried it,
me.
I've tested
Yeah.
it. Same amount of time. The difference is what's in our closet, right? How intentional are we with what's in there so that when we go into our closet, we have great options to choose from.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll probably talk more about that after, but let me answer your question. So yeah, 30s, 40s, 50s, right? We've had babies, or we've had illness, or there's perimenopause, menopause. So our bodies have changed. We've seen some things and it's gone through some things. So I think the biggest thing at this stage that's harder for us as women in this stage is the changing body, and the fact that
Mm-hmm.
we don't know this body anymore. We're like, I was so confident dressing my body when I was younger. I knew what fit, I knew where to shop, I knew what to wear and what would look good. And now there maybe it's a little bit more round in certain areas, or areas that where we didn't have any additional overage, we're seeing some overlap now. Um, and so I think so that really is I think one of the biggest challenges, just that the fact that our bodies have changed and we don't know how to dress this body. Some clients will tell me that they feel like they've woken up and they're like, who is this person? Or they, who is this? What is it? Where is this new body coming from? Who am I? And so, when I work with clients, and that's really one of the main things that they're struggling with, we really spend time understanding how to dress this new body. I think that's a really important piece. It's to say, okay, when we were in our 20s, we looked fantastic. Awesome, we were great. And now that we're a little bit older, 30s, 40s, 50s, we can still look fantastic. It's just going to be
Mm-hmm.
different. It's going to be different how we do it. The clothing that we choose is going to be different. And I call it the ABCs of dressing. So I talk about really accentuating your assets, right? What parts of your body do you love, that you feel
Mm.
confident about, that you enjoy showing off? So instead of kind of hiding, maybe you have some extra weight in your tummy, or maybe it's your arms, whatever. Instead of focusing on hiding, really focus on, maybe you love your shoulders. Maybe you have some great arms. Maybe you have killer legs, right? Focusing on wearing pieces that show those parts of your body off, so you're from a position of power. So you accentuate the assets. And then the B, balance your proportions, right? So sometimes if we carry weight in our bottom half, then we don't want to look bottom heavy. So we balance off with, maybe we wear pieces that have maybe ruffles at the top, or a brighter color at the top. Or the bottom, maybe wear wider leg pants instead of skinny, because if it's skinny, that is going to draw attention to the wider hips. So just balancing the proportions, looking at where you're bigger or smaller, and figuring out, if you want to make it look bigger, then you do these things. If you want to make it look smaller, do some other things. So we can use our clothes as tools, and to really help us to feel. And I'm saying all these things, but there are no style rules. It's really about, how are you dressing your body so that you feel most confident. I have some women who have a fuller chest. So some quote unquote style rules may say, if you have a fuller chest, you can't wear this, or you shouldn't wear this. Some women love to show off their fuller chest. So we're going to take what we want from the quote unquote rules that are there, take what we want, leave what we don't, and dress our bodies in a way that makes us feel confident and comfortable. Oh, and the C is to camouflage. So I'm not talking about hiding. We're not hiding your bodies. We're just not bringing more attention to the parts of your body that you're not as confident about. So those are the ABCs of dressing,
I
that I
love
think
that.
really are helpful.
It is really helpful because it's something that we can remember. So we can
Yes.
accentuate our assets, show off what we love. We're going to balance out
Yes.
the proportions. We're going to
Yes.
camouflage it in a
Yes.
way that makes us feel confident. And
Right.
I think that is really helpful because I think we can feel really overwhelmed because,
Yeah.
yes, we are going into our closet and we're seeing a ton of clothes. For some of us, maybe we still have clothes that haven't fit us for 10 years, but
Yeah.
it's still in there somehow because we
Yes.
remember that it did used to look great on us, or we
Right.
spent X amount of dollars on it, or it was a cool brand, or whatever the
Oh
thing
my
is.
goodness. Those are exactly what I hear all the time. But Renee, I spent so much money on it. Or I wore this to Johnny's confirmation, or right. So all the stories, and let me tell you, your our closets tell the story of our lives. And I get it, right? Because all of the pieces, when I'm doing closet edits and we take out pieces, she's like, yeah, and it's the entire story about where she wore this piece, how
Mm-hmm.
she felt, who was there, right? So it's the story of your life. But I encourage you to think of your closet really as a space that needs to be like your personal boutique, a place that when you walk in, it has the colors that you like, the styles that fit your body well, so that when you walk in, everything is an option, and it's not like, oh, that doesn't fit anymore, or oh, I hate that, oh, it's too tight, right? So we want to create a space that really supports your lifestyle and how you live now, not how you lived 10 years ago, not what fit you 20 pounds ago, but really what fits you now, so that you feel good, right?
Mm-hmm.
And this whole thing about uh, I'll get new clothes when I lose weight. We're living right now, right? So I really encourage you to dress the body that you have now. Get rid of the pieces that really just don't serve you right now. And it
That's
will be a much more enjoyable process of getting dressed.
so true. Because, yeah, we look at all these clothes, we feel overwhelmed, we still have quote unquote nothing to wear. And
Yes.
then we feel bad about ourselves. And then we just end up going with the same like black
Yes.
pants and
Yeah.
black shirt or whatever that,
Yeah.
that like boring
Yes.
thing is that maybe is the safest bet.
Or
But
you go out and you buy more clothes. So you're just
mm,
adding and adding and adding and adding, which isn't this a solution either.
can you tell us about how we can clear some of this clutter, perhaps to maybe some steps, how we can make a streamlined wardrobe that makes getting dressed easier? Because, yeah, sometimes the decision fatigue is real. And
Yes.
like you're saying, it takes the same amount of time to put on frumpy, glumpy, jumpy, whatever,
Yeah.
as it does to put on something that's energizing and makes us feel great. However,
Yeah.
I think it might come quite
You
easily
have to
to
get
someone
there.
like you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You have
Or,
to
I
get
mean,
there.
we've got the ABCs. Are there some practical steps for, maybe we are now going to go out and buy a few staple pieces for our wardrobe that fit us now, that make us feel great? Or how can we make getting
Mhm.
dressed like that process a little bit
Sure.
easier?
Yeah, great question. So I created a framework for when I work with clients. I call it your style story. And so each letter of story, STORY, stands for a step in my framework. So I'll talk about the first two because I think that really applies to getting the closet or to getting your wardrobe where you want. And note that you said, okay, what do we need to buy? I'm going to take you back a few steps before we start buying, right? Because
Okay,
I
good.
think that's
Good.
where that's where we get in trouble, right? We think, oh, the answer is to buy more things.
This episode of The Juggle is Real is supported by the Canadian National Institute for the Blind, the CNIB. Back to school season always feels like a whirlwind. The supplies, schedules, lunches, forms, and in my case, 3 boys, all with 3 different needs. It's easy to overlook or forget things, and I have had my fair share of that. 2 school seasons ago, my middle guy went to school with a plastic bag as a pencil case on the first day of school. Whoopsies, but yes, we learn. And there's one thing that I will never forget again, and that is the eye exam. We almost missed it with our oldest. He showed no signs, nothing obvious for his vision issues, but he was having a tough time in the classroom. And so at age 5, we finally had his first eye exam, and it turned out that he needed glasses pretty badly. And that moment hit me hard. As a mom, I felt guilty, like I should have known, right? But the truth is that so many parents miss it. 1 in 4 kids actually has a vision issue, but most show no signs at all. And now, if you've seen photos on social media or online, you know that all 3 of my boys wear glasses, all for different reasons. Our youngest got his first pair at just 18 months. And it's a reminder of how important early detection is. The first 7 years of a child's life are critical for visual development, and catching issues early can make all the difference. Not just for their eyesight, but for how they learn, play, and how they feel about themselves, right? Their confidence. So, this back to school season, the CNIB is reminding us to get the kids' eyes checked. As you book your doctor's appointments and check all the things off your list, do not skip the eye exam. It could be one of the most important things you do. If you're in Canada, you can visit opto.ca to find an optometrist in your area to book today. That's opto.ca, opto.ca. And visit cnib.ca to learn how CNIB is supporting kids and families across Canada to thrive in and out of the classroom. Now let's get back to the episode.
The first thing I'd suggest, the first letter is S, and that's for style clarity. So I really want you to think about, okay, who am I now? Who am I? Who is this woman? How do I want to move through the world? What do I want to, what's the message I want to send to people? How do I want to feel? What kind of work do I do? How many days am I in the office? Am I at home all day? Am I on the floor with my kids? What am I doing? So really think about what's your lifestyle? how you live, how you work, and as I say, how you want to move through the world. So really get clear on that. Maybe get some inspiration. Maybe, I Instagram or magazines or whatever, and look at some or celebrities whose style you like, and really keep that in mind so you can say, okay, and think about what is it about these icons or whomever that I like. And so you have you're clear on on the image that you're trying to create for yourself, right? So that's the first thing you want you to be clear. So S, and then T is tailor your closet. So of course we're going to edit the closet, right? So think about it. Do I feel fantastic when I'm wearing this piece? Does it fit me now? Not 10
Mm-hmm.
pounds ago, not when I lose the weight, because I had a client who says, yes, this I'm still trying to lose my baby weight. How old is the baby? The baby's 12.
Oh.
Okay, maybe not, right? So does I really want it to fit you now? And then another good question is it a hell yes? If it's not a
Mm.
hell yes, then you're probably not going to reach for it, right? So those are some questions to think about. Um, and then something else. So those are the two things to before we even shop. And then think about some wardrobe, some outfit formulas, because I think that's something else that can make getting dressed easy. So if you're a jean and a t-shirt girl, so instead of wearing skinny jeans or kind of frumpy jeans and just a uninspired t-shirt, maybe you look for jeans that have a newer silhouette, a more loose, a more relaxed silhouette, and a great graphic tee or a nice knit. So you still get the jean and t-shirt vibe, but it's a little bit more elevated, right? So I'll send you I created some outfit formulas that are clients love. So your listeners are welcome to that. Also, if you're a petite, I use something that I call the rule of thirds. I have an outfit formula for that as well. So it just makes it, if you have the formula in mind, then it just makes when you head to your closet, okay, I need a jean, I need a top, I need a blazer. If you're not a blazer person, then maybe that could be a bomber. Maybe that could be a jean jacket, right? So you have a formula in your head, and then you interchange the pieces to make it work for your personality. And then another thing that I find that clients don't have is wardrobe basics. When we spend a lot of time getting great pieces like the fancy dress to wear to an event,
Mm-hmm.
or it's things that we don't wear every day. It's not a part of our lifestyle, and we lack wardrobe basics. So the basics that we reach for, maybe a great pair of jeans, great pair of dark denim, a nice button down, some great t-shirts that are of great quality, right? Those pieces can interchange with, maybe add a blazer, maybe you wear it under whatever. So it gives you more options. It adds some variety, and it extends your wardrobe. So those are a couple of things. Invest in some great wardrobe basics. And wardrobe basics, I don't mean like boring things. Wardrobe basics are the pieces that you reach for often, depending on your lifestyle, right? A great functional wardrobe really should be about 80% wardrobe basics and 20% maybe trend pieces or new pieces, just so that you feel fresh. So those are some tips.
This is really, really helpful. And I just want to bring up a couple things. So just to recap,
Yeah.
it's okay to donate, to give away, to put in storage, even if you're not ready to give it up, to remove things from your closet, to
Yes.
declutter, to
Yes.
release that decision fatigue. And
Yes.
I can tell you, because I recently went through this process in selling our home and donating like two huge garbage bags full of clothing, and my husband has done the same. He's way worse, by the way, in terms of clothing. He has like 10 closets full of clothes. Like, he is on a whole other level. But it was the most freeing experience, and it made me feel so great knowing that I was going to help someone else in these pieces that weren't fitting me anymore, or maybe weren't quite matching up with the style that I was looking for. And that brings
Yes.
me to the second piece, because in last week's episode of The Juggle is Real, I did a recap of the Rise at the Ritz event, and I intertwined it with clips from my past interviews when I've had Hinacon on my podcast,
Mm.
with stepping into your new identity. And so, what better time than now to, like you said, in that story framework, envision the
Yes,
woman that you are stepping into, right? Getting out of
absolutely.
that circle. Who is she, and how does she? How does she want to be perceived, and how
Right.
does she dress? And then
Yes,
tailor your wardrobe, tailor what's in your
absolutely.
closet to that. And
Yes.
maybe, yes, you are going to get a couple of new
Yes.
things,
Yes.
which is so helpful and
Sure.
so beautiful. And
Yes.
so I want to talk
Such a
about
great
our
point.
style and our confidence and our careers, because often that's, one of the main areas where we're really looking to step into those pieces and feel our best. And you said how when you were dressing with intention, it made you feel so much more confident and so much more brave and just unstoppable in
Yeah.
your career and in the boardroom. So,
Yeah.
how can we, as listeners, maybe we're everyday moms and professionals,
Mhm.
how can we tap into that same confidence even on the days when we don't feel our best, even if we're still quote unquote losing the baby weight and it's been a while, or we just, I know some days depending on my cycle, like I wake up and I feel like frumpy, blumpy, whatever, like how can we tap into that confidence on the days when maybe we're not feeling as hot?
Yeah. And that's a great point, because those are the days when you want to tap into your style. Those are the days when you're feeling yucky. And again, there's research on this still. When you're not feeling great, that you can reach for something that you love, a piece of clothing that you feel fantastic in, and put that on, and it changes your energy. It changes your mood. So, everyday women, really think about, what's the message I want to send? How do I want to feel today? I think that's even a great starting point. How do I want to feel today? And you
How
look
do
in
I
your
want to
closet
feel
and you,
today? Yeah.
yeah, how do I want to feel today? What's the message? How do I want people to feel about me? Where are you heading? What things do you have? Are you going to meet a friend for lunch? What's the energy I want to give off today? Right. So that can really be helpful when you're figuring out what to wear. And when you're feeling down and not so great, color is a huge piece of changing your mood, changing your energy. So think about that as well. So I do, other clients who work with me for their full package, I do color analysis, virtual and in person, because your colors and the colors you wear, they do a lot for your mood, but also how your skin looks. Do you look vibrant and alive and rosy, or is it a color that drains you and makes you look tired, or shows up some of the lines on your face, or makes your skin look sallow? So color is a big piece of your mood. And for women who are professional or more in a corporate space, really think about the fact that your style is the packaging of your personal brand, right? It's the
Mm.
first thing people see. It's that image that, and people call your name in rooms where you're not, or wherever you are. That's what comes to mind, and it's such an important piece of I say our career toolkit, success toolkit. We spend a lot of time on a resume and getting advanced certifications and networking and getting mentors, all of that, which they're all important. And I'm just suggesting, I want to share, to after you've done all of that hard work, how are you showing up for the opportunities that you have worked so hard to get? Right? You really want to align
Hmm.
your image with what you're saying about yourself, what your resume says. Because I've had leaders tell me that people are interviewing, or they see these interviews, and when the person shows up, that it just doesn't connect. Right? They sound fantastic on paper, and everything sounds great, and when they see the person, they're like, "Really?" And when there's a
Hmm. Yeah.
disconnect, when there's a disconnect, the mind is like, you're not really sure. Am I, if I invest in this person, invest, whether it's hire them, employ them, hire them, do business with them. If I invest in this person, what am I getting? Am I getting the resume, or am I getting what I see in front of me? Right. And a confused mind doesn't buy. So just, you want to really align your image with your brand and what you're putting out there for you.
That's awesome, because you also say that your style is really that energy and vibe, right?
Yeah,
And so, yeah, like
yeah,
you're saying, if
yeah,
you do
yeah.
have the most incredible credentials, but you're showing up in a way that doesn't portray that, then
Yeah.
yeah, then perhaps there are opportunities for growth
Opportunities.
that you're missing out on.
Sometimes we don't want to, it's that they don't want to be seen really. So they'll wear darker colors to kind of blend in with the background, or to blend in, or not rock the boat. Uh, or they're big and baggy clothes. If they have some extra weight, they think that people won't see the tummy, because if they wear baggy and loose clothes, but you just look bigger, right?
Mhm.
So, think about colors that help you to show up and stand out. It makes a difference, especially if you're building a career.
Yeah, the color, the fit, like you're saying, we don't need to
It,
wear baggy clothes to
yeah,
hide, and
it,
even accessories, right? The
yes,
things that we're wearing to maybe accentuate earrings, for instance. I'm looking at you and
absolutely.
you're wearing this beautiful, like an orangey coral top
Orange.
with these
Yeah,
like beautiful earrings, and it's just
right.
framing your face really nicely. The neckline's really
Awesome.
pretty.
Thank you.
And immediately, as soon as you logged on for our conversation, I was like, bam, there she is. Like, I'm so excited to chat with you,
Oh,
right?
awesome. Thank you.
Um,
Those are
yeah. So
some good
can
points, because the color and the accessories that you mentioned, that's the another piece of my style story framework. I call it, that's the why, and I call that your sauce, your spice, right? So
mm,
those pieces really allow your personality to shine, right? You're working, you want to bring some of your personality into your job, bring yourself to work, right? So your color, again, allows your mood to be elevated. Your accessories, for sure. Do you like great shoes, right? That can talk about your personality. Are you an animal print girl? Can you add like animal print bag, or a scarf, or some tortoise shell glasses, right? So those little pieces of your accessories, really, they put like an exclamation point on you, and they also tie your outfit together. It elevates, it takes it up a notch. So all of those things, they may seem small. Accessories are small details, like earrings, necklaces. They may be small, but they can add so much to an outfit, and really allow you to bring some of your spice and your sauce into your outfit,
this is so
your look.
good. I'm getting so inspired. I want to talk about, though, like just real life here and how you speak about stylist self care, because, I am a huge proponent for caring for ourselves in authentic ways. And the reality is that many women, we are really investing and putting our energy and our time and our dollars in many ways in everyone else before ourselves, right? We're doing things for others, we're buying things for others, we're giving to others. So, how can we start to see our style not as vanity, but as
Yeah,
a form of our own self worth, how we're caring for ourselves, our own personal empowerment? I'm not going to lie to you, Renee. I am wearing stretchy pants right now. You can see I'm wearing a blouse on top,
yeah,
got stretchy pants on the bottom,
yes,
and that's what I live in a lot of the time. So, for someone listening who is, in the yoga pants, or someone who
mhm,
is stuck in a rut, you've given us a lot to consider, but what might be a small, immediate style change that we could make, like today or tomorrow, that's going to just help us in lifting our mood, maybe
sure,
gaining a bit more confidence to take those next steps to the ABC,
yeah,
to our style story?
right. So I think many times we think that if we want to look nice or look put together, that it's going to be uncomfortable, right? So I think that is it. So I'd love to suggest or encourage us to think about style. You can be stylish, look fabulous, feel great, and be comfortable with. After what happened 5 years ago, retailers have done a really great job of giving us pieces that have stretch, that move with
Mhm.
us, that are elevated styles, but still comfortable, and still allow us to, maybe be on the ground with our kids, and then jump up quickly for a call, or to go to a meeting. So I encourage you to think about finding some of those pieces, invest in some of those pieces. I'm going to say, get rid of the yoga pants. Don't come for me unless you're going to yoga. But if you're heading for coffee, there's some pants that you can put on that still have stretch, but they're just more elevated, and you will feel better, right? I'm not saying that you need to be uncomfortable, but I mean, there are pieces that have stretch, they move with you, breathe with you. That's also something that's important, the breathability. So I'd say swap the leggings. Uh, and then think about wearing some color. I think that's an easy thing that we can add into our day. Wear a top that's a great color for you, that when you wear it, you feel great. Maybe you can just put on a little lipstick. That can do wonders to a face. A red lip. If you're not a lipstick girl, maybe it's a lip gloss, but just it doesn't have to be big either. Some of these small changes can really make quite an impact on you and how you feel, because you've taken some time for yourself. And then remember, you have to pour into yourself first, right? You can't pour from an empty cup. And I'm sure as moms, or people who you serve others, when you are full and you feel great, you have so much more to give,
Mhm.
as opposed to when you're tired, drained, just worn out. There's really not much there. And so our style really can help us to change how we feel, changes our mood, and puts us in a place where we're able to give more and to show up for ourselves and for others. So
This is
I
so
would
good.
put that to you to think about it. A few reframes will help us.
Oh, my yoga pants. What am I going to do, Renee? What am I going to do? But I trust you. And I do agree
Yes,
that
yes,
yes, things have come a long way. And
yes,
the piece about color, like I can just say that even if I'm wearing a crew neck, like it is a sweatshirt, but if it's in a color that looks great on
yeah,
me, I'm just like, oh my gosh, I feel great. And so
yes.
this is so, so true. You've
And that
been
sweatshirt
so
in that color, maybe you can even put a necklace on top of it, right? The sweatshirt that's in a great color, maybe a necklace can go on it. You dress it up with some. Or another thing I was thinking of as we were speaking, a nice pair of earrings. Maybe maybe a little earring that's fun, or a little an earring that speaks to your personality. Maybe you add, maybe it's just the earring and a lip and a color. That's a lot, right? But that it's a lot, but it's not. But that can make a big difference.
yeah, small things to make a big impact.
Yeah.
For sure. For sure.
Absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
on that note, you've been like so so kind and generous to create and offer up some free resources for the listener. Can you tell me about what we can expect? And you can find that in the
Yes.
notes for this podcast episode. There's a link there.
Absolutely. So I created this outfit, what did I call it? An outfit guide, outfit formula guide. Because I know so many times you go into your closet and you are overwhelmed. Where do I start? What do I need to, how do I put this, how do I put an outfit together and still feel great? So I have about 6 or 7 different outfit formulas that you can reach for. So they're pictures showing you the top, showing you the different pieces and how to put them together. So it gives you some options. So it's really easy. People who have it love it. Easy that you can refer to it frequently, and then just know that you can swap the pieces out to make it fit for your personality and how you live. So it's an awesome resource. Hope you enjoy it.
Yeah, definitely head to the notes for this podcast episode to download that for yourself and start following these formulas from Renee. Renee, I'm so grateful that we've had this conversation. I know that you're supporting women so much more than just by what they're putting on their bodies, and I love how you've reminded us that style is not just about chasing trends. It's not about comparing ourselves to other people or to anyone else, but it's really about aligning how we look with who we are and who we're stepping into, how we want to feel. So as we close out, what is the one thing that you would love to leave us with when it comes to reclaiming our style in midlife?
Yes, I love that, reclaiming our style in midlife, because that's important, right? We're not gone out to pasture. We're not going to be overlooked. We are here. We are vibrant. We have a lot to contribute and still so much more to do. So I really encourage women to not fade into the background, but really take up our space. And something that I think would be helpful for you to keep in mind is when you walk into your closet, instead of saying, okay, what am I going to wear today? Think of, what do I want to say today? Right? And use that to pick out your outfit and determine what you're going to wear. And then remember to be intentional. And intentional doesn't mean you're getting dressed in a full suit. Intentional means that I'm actually thinking about what I am wearing, where I'm going, who I'm seeing, what I'm going to be doing, and you're choosing your outfit according to that. So your clothes, don't just drag on your clothes, but really think about, where is it going to take me today?
Beautiful. That is the perfect way to close this out. Thank you so much for being here. I've really enjoyed this conversation. And don't come for me for my yoga pants, but I promise I'm going to work on that. I promise.
It's a process, right? It's a process. It's a process. But thank you so much for having me. Loved the conversation for sure.
Are you as inspired as I am? I feel like I know I just went through my closet, but I want to do it again. And I want to really make good on my commitment to reduce the amount of yoga pants that I'm wearing on a weekly basis. So, Renée, thank you so much for this conversation. And if you're listening and you have been feeling like you're sort of stuck in that style rut, or maybe you've been avoiding the mirror, I really hope that this episode not only gives you the permission to, just look at your wardrobe differently, but to see style as a tool for your confidence and your self expression, not a chore or not just something to add to the to-do list. I would really encourage you to connect with Renée. There's links in the notes for this podcast episode. Definitely check out her Style S.T.O.R.Y framework. And as always, you know what to do. If you've loved this episode, can you please share it with a friend? You can write me a review on Apple Podcasts. You can leave a rating. It is really just helping more women find these conversations. We've got lots in store for the fall, lots of great content and episodes to share. So I cannot wait for you to come on back. Make sure you're subscribed. And until then, take good care.